Well, guys, we have finally caught them, and now it is completely exposed. So many people are saying that, the whole story about Sony using activists to promote the representation, the queer agenda in their games was all like smokes and mirror, was not true. They were trying to say that that's just, the chads are complaining. We have the truth and the evidence. You see, this in front of you is the Japanese voice actor for Ghost of Yotei, which is Pharaoh's AI. Both the team chose to use the face of the American activist for the female protagonist. That's right. Erika Ishii is the one which they choose to use the face for, and not Pharaoh's AI, which is obviously much more attractive, as you can tell. On top of that, we have a second problem. You see, Ghost of Yotei casting has been leaked. The Japanese voice actor from The Boy Star and the activist. Which one do you think was chosen? Well, yes, the activist. The Japanese voice actor for also the boy's actor star, she was completely rejected as well. They literally said to her that this person, the boy star Karen Fukuhara, that's her true name, Karen Fukuhara, auditioned for the role of Atsu in The Ghost of Yotei. She was declined the role due to having, gets this, limited acting experience. So the activist, obviously they're at it again, and let me just give you guys some clear evidence. I mean, this is just absolutely shocking. The casting decision, which was highlighted on this post, shows effectively that the character's face is modeled after the American activist, raises a significant question about the intent and cultural alignment of the game. This choice by Sucker Punch Productions, a subsidiary from Sony Interactive Entertainment, appears to diverge from the historical and cultural authenticity that defined their previous work, Ghost of Tsushima, which was praised for its meticulous depiction of 13th century Japan. The activist in question, whose physical appearance contrasts sharply with Pharaoh's AI, has been associated with progressive causes, including those tied to queer and trans advocacy, and also to defund the police, as many other stuff. This suggests a deliberate decision to prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion narratives over historical accuracy, potentially as a vehicle for the representation in gaming. The gaming industry has faced increasing pressure to reflect diversity and identities, with a 2024 Forbes report noting that 17% of gamers identify as LGBTQ+, and 29% desire more prominent queer storylines. But of course, what about the majority, as in the other 70%? Well, we don't care about those, do we now? However, the setting of Ghost of Yotei 1600s rural Japan lacks historical evidence of queer identity expression in the form recognized today, making the casting obviously quite weird. This misalignment could indicate a strategic move to align with contemporary DEI mandates rather than a narrative-driven decision. A trend critics argue sacrifices artistic integrity for political agendas. The thread backlash includes comments questioning the activist's suitability for a samurai role, and also saying this is just hilarious. Let's look at Sony's funding and BlackRock's influence over DEI policies, because when you see the numbers, you will understand that this is not child's play. Honestly, this is crazy. Sony Corporation, the parent company of Sucker Punch Productions, is a publicly traded entity with a significant institutional ownership. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with over 10 trillion in assets under management as of 2025, holds a notable stake in Sony, owning, get this, approximately 6.5% of its shares according to recent SEC filings and financial analysis. Bloomberg data updated through Q2 2025 reflects that. BlackRock has been a vocal proponent of the ESG, environmental, social, and governance investing, with a strong emphasis on social initiatives, as in DEI, for representation. In his 2024 annual letter to CEOs, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink reiterated the firm's commitment to pushing companies towards inclusive practices, stating that diversity enhances long-term value, a stance that was drawn scrutiny for influencing corporate policy beyond financial metrics. That's right, this is about politics, not about financials. You can see the agenda is pretty clear. BlackRock influence extends to its voting powers at shareholders' meetings, where it has supported DEI-related resolutions, including those at tech and entertainment firms. For Sony, this pressure likely manifests in directives to integrate diverse representation of its gaming portfolio, including Ghost of Yotei. While no direct evidence from Sony's 2025 financial statement explicitly ties BlackRock's ownership to specific casting, I mean, come on, let's just not pretend we're idiots. The correlation between BlackRock's DEI advocacy and Sony's recent moves, such as the acquisition of diverse IPs and emphasis on inclusive marketing, suggest a top-down influence. Sony's own diversity policy outlined of its corporate portal commits to reflecting global audiences, aligning with BlackRock's framework and potentially overriding creative autonomy at studios like Sucker Punch. That's right, guys, this is crazy. A 2023 Entertainment Software Association survey found that while 46% of gamers appreciate diverse characters, a significant subset estimates about 40%, based on forum data and anecdotal evidence, reject perceived woke insertions. That's right, they completely just reject. So 40% literally do not want it in their games, whereas the rest of it, I guess 20%, is about neutral, particularly when the clash with game world's historical or cultural context exists. The Assassin's Creed controversy cited in the Reddit thread exemplifies this particular thing, where Ubisoft's forced inclusion of a female protagonist led to backlash and an apology suggesting gamers prefer immersion over ideological messaging. The sentiment is fueled by a perceived DEI-driven decision prioritizing corporate agendas over player enjoyment, a critique amplified by the thread's humorous yet pointed jabs from people responding to this particular thread. Sales data from Ghost of Tsushima, which is 13 million copies, indicate that authenticity resonates with the audience, whereas pre-release discourse around Ghost of Yotei as of July 2025 shows quite mixed reception, with some fans threatening to boycott, aligning with the "let the game die" sentiment as it was shown in different reactions from people online. This suggests that while BlackRock and Sony may see DEI as a financial win, the gaming community rejection could undermine Ghost of Yotei's commercial success, potentially costing Sony millions of dollars. The casting choice for Ghost of Yotei appears to be a calculated move to push queer representation, likely influenced by Sony's alignment with BlackRock and of course their policies, given the latter's significant ownership and advocacy. However, this approach risks alienating gamers who value historical fidelity and organic storytelling, as evidenced by lots of the responses from the threads of people being critical on the tone and also using a character or an actor who is obviously less attractive than the other actors used in the game, as in the voice actor or some of the other people who went to the casting. So if you choose to showcase the face of an actor which is not as beautiful or attractive as the other actors, what does that tell you? Well, pretty straightforward. There is a technical policy, there is an influence, there is someone at the helm making a bespoke, conscious decision to force certain ideologies on the behest of potentially reducing the attractiveness of the main character. And this is pretty obvious. If you refuse to see this and you say that this is just the chuds being crazy or people being weirdos or like gooners and stuff, it just shows that you refuse to engage in a logical, smart, using your neurons, looking at the data and seeing for yourself. Because if you refuse to look at the data, of course, and you're a liberal who does not want to see the truth, nobody can really help you. But the evidence is literally in your face. Ghost of Yotei has been changed with certain representation policies in mind, which was done on purpose. And it was not done out of sheer randomness. No. This was pretty damn obvious what has happened here. And again, if you want to pretend to be an ignorant and say that this is not true, of course you can do that. That's absolutely fine. It's your right. However, we all know deep down inside what's the truth, and the truth is pretty obvious. Guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next ones.